So before I start the topic of this video, I really want to thank everybody from the Target subreddit for upvoting my post and showing me overwhelming support. When I made that long post on Reddit, it was just me throwing my thoughts out there into the universe. Yeah, I was gonna eventually make a video talking about what went on at Target during my 13 months working there, but more than anything, the support that I got from that post is what motivated me to make this video. So everybody that showed me love and support, thank you so much. So to start off, one of the things that fascinated me about Target was their ability to implement themselves in urban environments, and that was the reason why I ended up working for them during my first year of college. Target's history is quite interesting if you think about it, because they defied the odds and outlasted Kmart, Sears, JCPenney's, and many other retail names that have gone bankrupt in the last 10 years. And as a matter of fact, if you actually look at the stock price of Target, at one point it was actually sort of priced in that they may go bankrupt. Anyways, Target did a very good job in the last 5 years reinventing themselves and attracting millennials to their stores. And additionally, in the last 2 years, they have delivered surprise after surprise to the upside in quarterly earnings reports from early 2019 to the present day. To reflect this, the stock has gone up 250%, which is pretty impressive for a boring old retail stock. I discovered a suspicious chain of activities that possibly could be generating up to $4 billion in revenue for Target every single year, and that would be perfectly normal for Target considering that they're such a successful company. These sales are not legitimate, and the reason why they're not legitimate is because they come from a group of people that use gift cards that they obtain by cold calling people on the IRS, stealing credit cards. But however the methods are, the way that these groups purchase these electronics is not natural whatsoever. During my time working at Target, and I'm not going to disclose the location because there is a possibility that due to the fact that I have a large corporation titled in this video, I would try not to give away where I worked, if that makes any sense. But anyways, where I worked, we had the same people come in every single day practically, and they would purchase upwards to $10, $15, and sometimes even $20,000 in iPads, Apple Watches, iPad Pros, anything Apple, AirPods. I even remember them purchasing as many AirPod Pro Maxes that retail for $500 around the time that I quit. But anyways, you get the idea. These guys were purchasing a large number of electronics, and they were doing so in a very suspicious fashion. And originally, I felt that this was something that was only occurring in my store, and I was dead wrong. So I went onto the Target subreddit, and out of curiosity, I looked up these strange occurrences, and I found out that this was happening in Target stores nationwide. And then I asked myself, okay, is this happening in Best Buy nationwide? Is this happening in Walmart, Costco? So I went on their respective subreddits and I tried to find evidence of this, and nobody was posting about it, which is pretty strange. And because of the sheer amount of posts on the Target subreddit about the groups of people that would come and purchase Apple products in a very specific manner, store after store in the exact same way, I was convinced that this is a real nationwide scam. So when I talked to management about it and I said, this is really suspicious, I don't know if I should be making these sales to these customers, and my manager's response to me was very simple. We promised these profits to shareholders. You are a Target Tech employee, and I understand that it makes you feel sick because it is quite possible that these individuals are obtaining these funds from vulnerable populations such as the elderly, the disabled, and middle-class working people that could be getting their credit card numbers nabbed online. He said, you might feel sick about it, but listen, you've got to do your job. This is above me, and these numbers are the numbers that we promised to shareholders. and it made me really mad. So I kept posting about it on the Target subreddit from time to time, and the issue with that is that there were a lot of corporate employees from Target that would stalk the subreddit. Honestly, they bullied me looking back. They told me that I was crazy for posting about it and feeling upset about these activities, that nothing could be done. I even discovered local news articles showing these exact same characters coming into these stores, and in some cases they were caught. But despite this, I see Target employees post about this basically every other day on the subreddit whenever I go there. So to me it seems like there's gonna be nothing done about this because it's a profitable endeavor for Target. However, iPads and any Apple product of the sort, they're not really that profitable to Target. The thing about them is that they have low profit margins, meaning that they can report those big numbers. Like, let's say you sell an iPad Pro for about $1,000. That $1,000 is your revenue. The profit might be maybe about 8 to 6%, maybe even less if there's like a holiday sale or something like that. But the biggest benefit to selling these is the revenue numbers. Let's say hypothetically that these guys were hitting up 750 out of the about 1,800 stores in Target every single day. And let's say hypothetically of these 750 stores, they did about $12,500 in purchases per visit on average. So that's 750 stores. When I plugged this in, I got $9,375,000 in sales a day. And honestly, this is a conservative estimate because they could be going to a lot more than 750 stores, and they could also be purchasing a lot more than $12,500 worth, because sometimes my store got about $20,000 worth of sales a day from these groups alone. So if you plug in the 9,375 number and you multiply that by 365, you will end up getting the number of $3.4 billion. And that's just the conservative estimate. So to put this into context, in 2019, Target did about $78 billion in sales. Target had a very good year in 2020, and they were able to increase those sales numbers to about $93 billion. So while there's no doubt in my mind that Target's a successful company that's growing year over year, it does make me scratch my head whenever I think about the sheer number of sales that Target is forcing their team members to make to these suspicious groups. The fact of the matter is that these groups are harming people, and by enabling these sales, Target is harming the communities that these groups affect. Let's say you have a grandmother who got scammed by an IRS cold caller who said, "You owe taxes. If you do not give me these gift cards, I'm going to send the police to your house and they're gonna arrest you." The elderly are very susceptible to these types of scams. So back to Target. How could they stop these scammers from purchasing these large amounts of iPads, iPhones, and Apple Watches? Well, they could put a limit on purchases allowed by gift cards, or they could force purchases of gift cards over $500 to be made online for order pickup. These are very, very simple solutions that would discourage the scammers from coming to the stores and bothering the employees. And a lot of people might stop and think, yeah, you know what, there's no way that it's happening to that capacity. And my response to that is, absolutely, yeah, it is. If you go to the subreddit and you analyze all the people that are posting about it, you gotta think, for every one person that posts about this, there's probably about 10 to 20 people that are saying nothing about it because they feel powerless or they honestly think nothing of it. But it's very, very suspicious activity. So that's why I wanted to share my experience as a former Target employee about this very strange occurrence. And while I don't believe this video will get any massive attention, I do hope that if it does, that the company decides to take some action against this criminal behavior. Thank you. And finally, my legal disclaimer. This video wouldn't be complete without it. I do not have any access to private insider information. Everything said in this video is pure speculation based on the overwhelming evidence that I have come across that appears to indicate that the fraud described in this video is occurring nationwide. Anyone can play detective, walk into their local electronics department, and wait to see if the scammers in the video show up. It is a crime that quite literally happens in broad daylight because outsiders have no idea what's going on. All they see is a so-called guest making a large, unusual transaction.
What do you mean you don't agree with me? Do you know who you're dealing with?
Pull up to Target, give me iPads. Got 2K up on my gift cards, I'll be running fast from the cops and FBI because I'm getting rags. Call up old people and tell them that they owe me tax. Said I'm from the IRS. Said I'll send my boys, they will come arrest. Only Target gift cards I will accept. That's how I get the bag, yeah, you know the rest. I'm pulling up to Target, give me iPads, I'm a guest.